This is Carl at National RV Detroit. I'm going to walk you through this 2023 Flagstaff E-PRO, model number 15TB. Okay, so this is a how-to video. I'm going to show you some of the features and how they work. Okay. So to start off with, we have a compartment here where this is where you'll keep your shore cord. We've got the trailer plugged in right now, but it's using our shop cord. So you got a 30 amp cord, regular crank down type stabilizer jacks. Okay, you have a power awning with LED strip, an outside speaker right there. This is a rail to hang your grill on, and there's also a metal table that hangs on it. Your griddle right here is stored right here, and this is your metal table. Okay, so you'll hang it right on this rail. There's also a LP hose that plugs into the back of the grill or griddle, and then the other one will plug right into this quick connect under here. Therefore, you can draw your LP right from the tanks up front on the tongue. Okay. This is just the power out here, and that is your vent for your furnace. This is just a hookup in case you want to purchase. In this case, it's a Go Power kit, but if you want to purchase a kit, it's basically a solar battery charger. So it would plug right in there, and it's just like a little suitcase that unfolds, so to speak. Okay, you have your 2 LP tanks, and you have enough room for 2 batteries here. Okay. Power tongue jack with a light, battery powered. You have your bike rack. It holds 2 bikes. Now they ship it with all 4 of these on each side. Every other one's going to be flipped to the other side, so you hang one bike on this side and the other bike on the other side. So it's good for 2 bikes. Also, for your batteries, just so you know it's there, you can see that knob down there. Let me see if I can get it on camera. It's pretty dark there. It's right there, and that's a kill switch for the battery. So keep that in mind. You can shut the batteries off if you need to. These are your black and gray tank dump valves here. Outside shower right here. This is where the power cord, the shore cord, hooks up. I showed you yours. This is just our shop cord here. You have your freshwater hookup right here. That's the most common way to get water to the trailer. And then you have this antifreeze port. You draw antifreeze into the system through that port. It's something you'll have to educate yourself about if you're going to winterize it yourself. And that's just cable and satellite through to the inside of the trailer. This is your freshwater tank fill right here. So if you're camping someplace without city water, you can pre-fill the tank and then use the onboard 12-volt water pump to pump the water. I'll show you the switch for that when we get inside, but all your plumbing will work as though you have city water. So it's great for boondocking. This is your water heater here. Right now it's empty. It's you see there's your anode rod in your drain plug, and that's where it goes in right there. So this runs on 110 AC or LP gas. The switches are inside the trailer. I'll show you those when we get in there. You can just run it on most people, when they get to the campground, they'll turn on the electric heating element and they'll just let it stay hot that way. But if you're going to use a shower or something like that, they'll kick on the burner to get extra heat and a faster recovery. Never run the water heater without water in the tank. Right now it's empty because this is winterized, right? So you just want to make sure that you always refill it with water if you've drained it. So you'll always anytime you use it, you want water in it. So okay. Your ladder is a great thing because you can inspect the roof. The manufacturer states every 90 days you should inspect the roof, so keep that in mind. You're going to look for possible damage from low branches or road debris. You're going to look for cracking or separation at the sealant that water could get through and into the trailer. So you're just going to inspect it. Odds are you'll go years and years and years without having to touch up anything, but you just don't know. That's why you inspect it. So make sure you do that a few times a summer, every 90 days. Okay, so let's go inside here. First of all, on the left is your control panel, which has a sensor in it and it lights up when you get close to it. So you have your awning here. In and out is a power awning. Never leave the awning out unattended. If you're not going to be at the campsite, roll it in. You have your lights here. There's 3 blue ones lit up right now are lights. Your Wi-Fi booster is right here. Right, on and off. Water heater on gas is there. Light it on electric, or turn on the electric is there. Never run it without water in it, like I said. Your water pump is right here. The water pump, remember I told you you use the water pump to pump water out of the fresh tank if you don't have city water. You'll also use the water pump to winterize the trailer. So you use it for 2 different things. And these are tank heaters here. You turn those on and your tanks have heating pads. So basically you extend your camping season by turning on the heating pads. Okay, all the tanks are heated. And this is to connect to an app here. So, and of course these are your levels, right? So that's all taken care of there. Charging port, power, of course. We look the other way at the kitchen, and you have a microwave, and it's a convection microwave here, right? You have a cooktop. Always keep this up always, but you just light this with a regular grill lighter. You turn it on and light it. You always travel with this in the down position. Your keys are hanging right here on your faucet. This is just a drainer thing that goes over the sink to drain, and some storage there. You have a 4-speed fan here, which is great. It's covered, so you can open it during the rain or whatever you want to do. It's got 4 speeds. The first 2 speeds you can barely hear them running. The second 2 really crank, so you got a speed for everything. This is a GFCI right here. All the plugs are wired through this GFCI, even the one on the outside. So if you're using something outside and you pop it, you're going to reset it in here. Anytime you have an issue with your receptacles, you're going to think GFCI, okay? Now, this has an inverter. This is the inverter switch here, right? Inversion is starting with 12-volt DC and inverting it to 120 AC. So you're converting battery power to usable AC power. The reason you want to do that is because these receptacles are wired to the inverter. So you can, let's say you just have battery power, but you've got a blender or a coffee pot, a coffee maker you want to run. Well, you can turn on the inverter. Only use the inverter when you need to invert. You don't just keep it on all the time. But you would turn it on and plug in your coffee pot, and it'll run an AC appliance and off of the battery. So that's inversion. You hold it for a few seconds to get it to go off. There we go. Okay, now you also have the opposite of that. This is the power converter right here. So this converts AC to DC power. Okay, you can see on this side you've got circuit breakers like you see at home, 120 AC, they're all labeled. And then on this side you've got regular 12-volt fuses, and they're all labeled also. So basically you're converting your AC, 120 AC to 12-volt DC. And also this is a battery tender, so as long as you're plugged into shore power, this is going to sense how much energy your batteries on the tongue need, and it'll keep them charged up. So when you're traveling down the road, your tow vehicle's alternator will charge the batteries. When you're plugged into shore power, your power converter charges the batteries. And during the rest of the time, your solar controller will charge the batteries. Okay, so the only button you have to worry about is B here, okay? A just sets the type of battery and that sort of thing. So you can see, let me just go through B a bit here. Right now, 13.6 volts, that's DC. It's telling us what, how many volts are in the system right now, DC volts. So that's good, it's over 13, that's really good. 13.6, you push B again. Right now, that's the gain. You see the picture of the sun pointing towards the solar panel? That's how much energy is being converted to electricity by the solar panels and then stored in the battery. Nothing, of course, but we're inside the building, that's why. It'll normally be, depending on the time of day, the position of the sun, you know, the cloud, how much the cloud cover, all that stuff, it'll be different, but it'll give you an accurate reading and it'll tell you how much is being stored in the battery. You push it again, and 100% charged. And amp hours after that. So you have 4 readings from it. Just pushing button B. Now there are a few more things you can charge off of it. He's got a little USB port and some other things. You can read up about that. But the 4 screens that pop up are the most important thing. And that's the solar controller. Now if it says FUL and starts flashing, it's not telling you it's broke, it's telling you that the batteries are full. There's no more room for storage. So you'll want to, basically if you just let it run on DC power, the batteries will drop and it'll go right back to the normal 4 screens. So keep that in mind. You can put up to 2 batteries in that battery box. If you do that, make sure you wire them together so the output is 12 volts. You're just doubling the storage capacity, not changing the voltage. It still has to be 12 volts, okay? This is a switch to turn the refrigerator on and off here. It's a 12 volt DC refrigerator. The reason we want to do that is because it's the biggest user of energy. So let's say you're out in the middle of nowhere and you're being really tight with your power, with your DC voltage. You can just shut the battery right off. Or for example, if you put it into storage and you want it to stay charged up, you want the batteries to stay charged, so when you go into it next time they'll be all set. It's good to shut the refrigerator off, because otherwise all your solar gain is going to be going to keeping your refrigerator running when you don't need it running. So you want to store it, so you would shut the refrigerator off. It's a very good feature. This is your thermostat. You just hit the mode bar to light it up, and then you just push through the modes. Fan, which is the air conditioner running without the compressor. Cool, which is air conditioning. Always go with auto high or auto low. Furnace, which is your LP furnace, and off. The furnace lights on its own. You just select it and it'll make 3 attempts to light. It'll always light within those 3 attempts. If for some reason it doesn't, like let's say there's a big air pocket in the line or something, just shut it off. It'll keep running, but as soon as you shut it off, the flame goes out, but the motor will still continue cycling, right? So when you shut it off, it keeps running, but actually the battery and the flame goes out and the circuit board resets itself. So if you just turn it off and on, it'll go through the 3 attempts again. It'll light for sure the next time. But it's very rare when it doesn't light the first 3 times in the first 3 attempts. It's almost unheard of. Okay. This device down here is your carbon monoxide LP gas detector. It should always be green. If it's not green, get it serviced. Don't put it off. Don't ignore it. Get it serviced immediately. It's very important, of course. Okay, the rest is storage. I mean, this tabletop goes on these cleats here, so you can turn it into a large bed here. Underneath here are your water pump, your all your mechanicals, like the wiring behind your power converters, but under there, so that's where you'd access all that. The other side is storage. Okay, drawers. This particular drawer, wait a minute, this particular drawer here has all your stuff in it. So you have a inline filter. This is the hose, the LP hose I told you about for the griddle to hook it up to the tank. These 2 wires here are used to double your batteries. If you just put one battery and you don't need these, but if you want to jump it over to 2, so you can double your storage, you would use those, and that's all that sort of thing in there, okay? Alrighty. The rest is pretty much self-evident. I mean, you have your emergency escape window, which works like all of them do. You push it all the way through, grab the tab and pull the screen out and you can exit. All the buttons also have push buttons in the middle. I should say all the LED lights have push buttons in the middle. Your shower and bathroom is here. Let's see if I can find some switches here. I don't know if they're inside or outside. I guess I should know that, huh? But I don't. Oh yeah, it's right up here. Okay. All right. So your toilet works like any other RV toilet. It sits right over a black tank. You can see there's purple antifreeze in there. That's the flush pedal. So when you get to where you're going, you put a dose of chemical in the bowl, and then you stand on the pedal or push down the pedal, put at least a gallon of water in the tank below along with the chemical, then it's ready to be used. You can use more than a gallon, just don't use less, okay? If you don't put a gallon of water, at least a gallon and the chemical in there, it'll be considered used to dry, it'll get clogged up, it'll smell terrible, it'll just be a mess. So make sure you always do that. Fan, of course. And this, last but not least, is the shower miser. So this is a water recycler, or not recycler, but circulator. It circulates it in a circle. It goes from the shower to the water pump, or from the shower to the water pump to the water heater. So it just goes around and around and around in a loop. The reason for that is if you're camping someplace with drought conditions, you don't want to waste perfectly good water sending it down the drain while you're heating it up. Plus, you don't want to waste storage in your gray tank with perfectly good water while you're heating it up. So you save water. This lever's here. You can see up. That's shower miser there. You can turn it down to run like a normal shower. So what you do is you put it up here, turn on your hot water, and let it circulate in a loop. And this blue plastic thing here will turn kind of a beige color. When it turns a beige color, you know it's hot. So when you see that, you'll just change this lever back down and it'll work like a regular shower. So you're just saving water, okay? All these components I told you about have websites, and you can always check the websites. Wait a minute, am I hitting that with the camera? Right there, you can see there's one of the advertising things, but keep that in mind because you can learn as much as you want to about this. I suggest you learn more about the solar controller in that system, for example. See what else you can do with it, and learn about winterizing and all the different things. This TV is also a FM radio. It has speaker zone inside and outside. It has Bluetooth, so you can stream from your phone or your tablet. It's got HDMI in the front and the back, so you can go into the system with let's say a portable Blu-ray player or something if you want. So it's versatile TV, and it's a radio also. It's on a swing-out bracket that locks into place. So make sure you latch it. You just push it to latch it. Just make sure you latch it so it doesn't fling around when you're traveling. This has something called a Wi-Fi Ranger. I talked to you about that, where it said connect to Wi-Fi or Wi-Fi boost or whatever it says. That's for this here. Let me see if I can get high enough so I can show you this. Okay, you see on there, there's 3 lines. I know it doesn't focus very well, but there are 3 lines. On the top line, that's the name of your Wi-Fi Ranger. It's Tenton 6224 in your case. So you go to your phone, let's say your family's phones, and you'll go to the Wi-Fi section and you'll find Tenton, what did I say, with 6224, that's you, right? And let's say it's you're going to control this thing. So you go in a browser, you go to this address, which is on the bottom where it says control panel, and then you log in with the temporary password, change me now, 6224, and you'll be able to see everything the Wi-Fi Ranger sees. So what you do is you set your family's phones to log on to this automatically. You put the password and everything in there, and then when you get to the campground, you'll go to the control panel. You'll pick out the public Wi-Fi you want to use. In this case, it's campground Wi-Fi. If there's a personal, if you use a password there, use it to get on, and basically this boosts your signal in a huge way. It gets you good, strong, clean signal. So It's really, really improvement for public Wi-Fi. It also has a cellular feature. If you're interested, you can learn about that. Most people are just interested in the public Wi-Fi booster. So keep that in mind, and all your family's devices, tablets, and phones should have the password for this particular router already stored in there, so it'll log on automatically. Okay. All right. So hopefully I covered everything, so you can understand what I'm telling you. Sometimes I'm right on, sometimes I'm a little bit way off. So I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer. Keep in mind, like I said, this is winterized, so there's water in the system. You're going to have to turn the water valves to the correct position. That's going to be done under here. Right? Turn your water valves to the correct position. For normal camping, and you're going to have to purge the antifreeze from the system. The idea is to never get antifreeze into the water heater because it leaves a foul taste. So you'll learn more about that if you don't already know this. And like I said, you want to inspect that roof. That's very important. Generally speaking, people who own a trailer don't inspect the roof enough. You just want to make sure everything's okay up there. You can't see what's happening up there unless somebody goes up there and looks. So be very careful and look, okay? Thank you very much.